It's time to turn it on, Sharky.
Yes! Turn it on! Let's see your shit go on fire.
Do you have any faith in me, Sharky?
Why would I when everything you do blows up? You're just too much of a pussy to put it on camera.
Sharky, I film every board repair. Even the board repairs where customer devices blow up.
Sure you do.
Ow! Sharky!
Just turn it on.
Do something useful with that mouth of yours, Sharky. So what repair school should you go to learn how to fix these devices? E-Tech Training? Fix Mobile Tech? Jessa School? Lewis's School? Mentgore School? Best School? Or Sharky School? I'm pretty sure we all know who here knows more than everybody else, and who here is the best when it comes to component-level board repair of Apple products. Me. Ow! Sharky! That's it for this evening. I'm going to fuck you up off camera, Sharky. Okay, so today we're going over a very challenging no backlight problem on an 820-3330 board. And today I'm really going to get into the, not to brag about things or anything like that, but when I talk about how you got these people doing motherboard repair on eBay for 70 bucks and you have me, here's where the difference lies when you got that no backlight bullshit. I'm going to show you some fun today, some stuff that you are never going to find people doing on eBay for $75. That is until I do a video on it. So if you are one of those people who is undervaluing the craft by offering no backlight repair on $3,000 products for 70 bucks on eBay, come sit down and learn something today. So this board has a short inside of it to ground on the output of LCD backlight. And I'm going to show you where that short is right now. It is in a very, very inopportune place, and it's not going to do me much good. So let's just get my wires running through the board so I can show you my short testing. So what I'm doing is, there is a short to ground on the backlight rail, so I'm going to put 12 volts in the backlight rail for my power supply, and then I'm going to run 12 volts from, I'm going to run the ground from my power supply to the ground on the motherboard to complete the circuit so that whatever component or whatever thing is sending my backlight signal to ground, it's going to get really hot and you're going to be able to see it, right? That's the whole idea here. So we set the voltage of my power supply to 12.6 actually, and then current to whatever the highest is. We turn it on, and let's see. Where is my problem? Here is my problem. So I drilled a hole to try to get rid of the short, and unfortunately it's not happening. It's on the LCD connector. It's right by where the LCD connector used to be. I did put a hole there. I just dug and I dug and I dug, and nothing happened. It would not go away. Let's see what happens if I dig a little more. Yeah, so before when I was putting the... Every time I touched the tweezer to this, you'd actually see sparks come out. Unfortunately, it can't anymore. My power supply is delivering... It's limiting itself to 2.9 volts at 10.24 amps, so I'm putting about almost 30 watts of power through the board right now. Where it's going is beyond me because that is not getting hot. It's just it's an internal short in the PCB. So let's just show you where that is on the schematic over here. So I'm going to open the schematic for an 820-3330 board. This is a very expensive Apple board, and it's a pretty good one. 2012 A1286 model. Doesn't have any known GPU issues yet. It's not old enough. Remember, all this Apple shit loves to start dying at year 3. It's not that Apple, because I made a joke in another video, and a bunch of people actually thought it was serious and not tongue-in-cheek, where I was talking about that Apple puts a timer in their products to make it die on year 3. That was a joke. But every joke is based on a little bit of reality, right? And the little bit of reality here is that every single one of these, is that so many of these Apple products, they have these fuck-ups that are just huge, and they show up right after the Apple Care has expired. Like the 2008 and 9 machines that had the glue holding the back cover together. They didn't start coming apart until 2011 and 2012. All these GPU issues in the 2011 model didn't start really coming out until 2014. It's like it always happens when people are outside Apple Care. And I'm not saying that Apple plans it that way. I just think that they happen to make some products that are, for lack of a better way to say it, not made for the long haul. And they're made to look cool and be powerful and be slim and be sexy and have really cool processors and graphics chips right now. And who really gives a fuck what happens 3 years from now? It's not like they want it to die in 3 years. They just want us to be really cool right now at the expense of longevity. So right over here is where we're testing, right? So what do we have on output? We have the LCD connector. So let's follow PPV out _SW _LCD backlight. So that's going to... where else do we have that shit? Thank you for not showing me the LCD connector. That's very, very not helpful of you. Oh, we call it SO, I guess. It switches to SO when you get to the LCD connector. Okay, so the LCD connector pins 38, 39, and 40. We've already taken care of that section, so there's nothing. All right, so looking at the schematic, we have, where does the backlight rail go? So we have the LCD connector. Let's just say that we've already taken care of that. We don't have to worry about that one bit. Now we go on to, the other sections. So that also goes to these 2 big capacitors. Okay, so the 2 big capacitors, let's show you where those are on my motherboard. Let's just also turn this power supply off. There's really no reason to continue roasting and sodomizing my board. Oh, boy. Okay. Those capacitors are over here. Those are the big capacitors. Then you got C9799. Actually, no, you have C9796, I believe, right over there. I should double check and just make sure that that is actually that capacitor. Let's see. Let's get my board view open. Board view? Where's board view? There's board view. I'm getting tired. It's about time to head home. Okay. Yep, so that's C9796. That's another place the backlight rail is going. Look at all these schematics from all these other videos. No wonder I'm tired. Okay, so then we have this diode over here. Right, that's a part of the backlight output rail. And lastly, the feedback ball of the LP8550. That fucking thing is a part of it. So what I'm going to try to do here is actually just bypass the board traces altogether for that. So the board is shorted to ground. Oh, there's also this capacitor, C9000. And C9000 is this crap right up here, which I drilled a hole through, so I don't think that really counts anymore. So fuck that shit. We're going to just, yeah, screw that. Look at that. That is scorched. Look at this shit. See that? That is a capacitor that can rest in fucking pieces and burn little carbon pieces. So what I'm going to try to do here is actually recreate the entire circuit from scratch instead of using the board. We're going to use this new pile of magnet wire that I got here. I think it's 0.015 millimeter diameter, something like that. It's really, really small. So what I'm going to do here is be a madman and get rid of the connections on this board. Because this board, it works, but the backlight is fucked. And there's nothing I can do to get rid of that short because the short is not in a component. It's inside the actual motherboard. It's in the layers. I drilled it. We used the the Dremel with this micro Dremel bit. I stabbed it with the tweezers, and nothing is fucking working. So what I want to do here is I want to recreate my own backlight rail, independent of that bullshit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just make a few modifications here, and this is not going to be fun. So it's probably going to be a long, drawn-out video with a lot of cursing and swearing and me just being pissed off at things not doing what I want them to. But I just want to see if this is possible. To be honest with you, this is not something I recall ever having done before. So it's something new, and I think it may be something fun. Just to see if it's plausible, feasible, something that I can do. I know other people have probably done this, and other people are probably thinking that I'm a moron for not even trying it until now. But let's see. So the first things first here is that I got these two capacitors over here on output. See this and this? Oh, I'm in the wrong section. So this and this, I don't want these to be here and there anymore, because the whole problem here is that that goes to backlight, which is shorted to ground, and that goes to backlight output, which is shorted to ground. So we have to find a place to plump those. Let me just push my microscope a little back in the table so I have room to work. I should also take off the speaker here. By the way, as a funny aside, I've always told people, like, you can tell them, we'll know if it's a nightmare or not a nightmare in this period of time, but never tell people, like, it will be done or we will try to get it done by this day, because that always ends in a nightmare. And this person in particular is somebody that's leaving the country. I'm leaving the country. I gotta have this thing back by this specific fucking date, right? And it's always those people that have a flight. It's always those people who are leaving the country where it's this type of bullshit. It's always that type of bullshit where it's like, it's totally fucked. It is hopeless. And like, there's and even no backlight is the easiest of all board problems to fix. Like, no backlight is easier than BIOS issues. I mean, this is supposed to be the easy shit, right? And what do you get? Because you needed it done instantly, because not instantly, but you needed it like by this exact time this happens. It's just something to be aware of. So I can't remember. I have to interconnect all these components, but I can't interconnect them using what I was using before. So I can't connect this to that, which is BS. God damn you, lead-free solder likes the... Okay. Finally. That's backlight output. That's not a thing that we ever want to use again. So let's just take my capacitors and move them out of the way. Now we have to brainstorm where to put this shit. Maybe over here? But this is ground. This screw hole is actually ground. So what we could try and do... And also that thing over there is backlight output. Yeah, this is going to be tricky. I shouldn't get all cocky because there are so many things that could go wrong with what I'm trying to do right now. That's some really bad wicking right there. I'm out of Q-tips and I'm too tired to walk to the front to get some, so the paper towel will do. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to make a pile-on of all these components in one section. Where I have to avoid the backlight pads, because those backlight pads are screwed. I'm actually going to put some green. You know what I should do? You know what would be smart is if I just scraped that shit off of the board altogether. I may change my mind, depending on how much of a pain in the ass this winds up being. Let's see. Yeah, I'm tired and my tweezers aren't in great shape, so... That would be a good idea, but... Don't feel like it. Alright. I'm gonna put some green stuff here. I'm gonna lay the component down on there, but I don't want to chance it, even though that is, you know, a layer that's not touching ground. I just don't want to risk it. So I'm gonna cover the backlight sections in that. Okay. This is gonna be real bullshit. I mean, if you're a troll, this is a great time to troll. So if you like trolling all the things that I do and talking about how you came up with it first and how you could do it better, this is a really good video to do that on. Because there's going to be a lot of fuckery. So, do this. All right. Take my diode. Do not drop it because I will forget its orientation. Alright, so the green stuff got totally blown to smithereens. That's, I guess, to be expected. Again, this isn't exactly something I do every day here, so bear with me. Okay, now we're going to take a cap. We're going to try to shove 2 caps on 1 pad. And this is going to turn into some real bullshit real quick. So that's ground. That's ground. Yeah, there's no way in fuck I'm grabbing 2 caps on 1 pad with that orientation. Well, if that's shorted to ground anyway, why don't I just... It is shorted to ground. I mean, it's being sent to ground. How about we scratch the idea of having green shit over there altogether, and I just tie that to ground 100% since that's already there. Who gives a shit? Why don't I use that to my advantage? Yeah. Use your brain, Lewis. Do what you tell every other fucking person to do for once in your life. All right. So yeah, this is a mess because I'm making it up as I go. Okay. Remember, I can't use the original pathways on the board because the original pathway on the board is shorted to ground. And the diode blew away. Lovely. Whatever, I'll grab another one. Okay, take the other cap. Yeah, I'm totally making this up as I go. Sail away like ships in the night. But you can always fix the soldering on the side of the capacitors later. What I care about now is they're actually in position. Let's grab a diode. Alright, so I've converted that into a ground pad. Yeah. Okay, we're going to take the diode and we're going to tie it to there. Crap. It's too close to the... It's too close to the backlight pad that's shorted to ground. I'm going to have to move the capacitor to make this work. The leads down the bottom don't stick out much, so... Okay. Let's tie this shit together. God, there's so much stuff blocking me. Nothing like a little piece of wire to shove in there. This is a few pieces tied together. That's a mess. This is a mess. This was a totally unplanned cluster of them. Fuck mess. Yes, alright. Now rip that shit off. I'm confident you're going to learn how to do stuff like this at every other school that shows you how to fix laptops and cell phones. I'm sure they show you real-world examples with modern $700 boards of when the planes inside of the board are burnt to the point of making a hole in it. This is how you fix it. I know they're teaching you this stuff in real time. And I'm totally sure that they're showing you how they come up with it as they come up with it in real time in 1080p. Nah. Probably photoshopping pictures of solder on a fucking iron. Yeah. Okay. So we got that. And one of the things I want to make sure is that my backlight output right now is not... My fake backlight output that I'm creating is not tied to ground. So I'm going to put the red probe of my multimeter on ground. Got it in diode mode. I'm going to touch this. And it seems like I have a 0 voltage drop to ground. Because I did something really stupid just now. 1, 2, 3... Let's see, wait. Did I do something really stupid just now? What did I do? Okay, so we're already fucking up and we're this early in the system. Great. What did I do? Okay, so that's touching the inside of this. Great. I wasn't thinking. Yeah, dumbass, that ain't how we do it. Okay, so that is ground over there. Damn, this is hard. And that's also ground over there. Fuck that. Oh, fuck. Okay. We can do better than this. I can be smarter. We're going to stack vertically now. Let's just get rid of that shit altogether. Yeah, get the... I'm good at making a mess, aren't I? Okay. Start over. That's not shorted to ground. That's not shorted to ground. Okay. Let's do this again. Let's get the thinking cap on. Use your brain, Lewis. That's bad. Righty, that's better. Make sure it's not shorted to ground. Every step of the way, I'm gonna take the time out to make sure I haven't done anything stupid. But then again, trying to make this fucking board again is stupid. You know what's really dumb is that this person actually said, you know what? Don't fix it. If it's a rabbit hole, just give up and just send it back to me. This actually isn't mine. This is a board that somebody sent to a store, that a store then sent to Jessa, that Jessa then sent to me. And the thing is, I can't ship it out until Monday anyway. I mean, it's not a business day. So I can't ship it till then. So there's nothing I can do but fuck with it. So this is just kind of a proof of concept for me. That's what this is. Yeah. Okay. Ow. Okay, that shot out and burned me. That's what I get for trying to do something this stupid. You see what I was trying to do? I was trying to shoot it from the side so that I could get it perfectly even. Because it was kind of sticking up. I'm trying to stack them vertically. But I don't want there to be a space in between. For obvious reasons, you know, it's not as structurally sound that way. This is going to be structurally sound when I'm done with it. Leaning tower of backlight. The fucking leaning tower of backlight. Alright. This is such dumb shit, man. This is so stupid. Why am I doing this? What? I'm gonna wash my hands since I have some burning flux on my skin. That's not good for health. Long-term health is, you know, having burning flux on the skin is not really good from a capacitor that's shot. That was actively being heated and burned. Mayor's Clean Day Soap. Good stuff. This section of the board I'm happy with. That little small capacitor, honestly, I could give a fuck, two shits of a fuck less about it. It's not fucking critical. I don't care. That little tiny capacitor can suck it. What the fuck do I care about having low ripple on? It's a DC to DC boost circuit for a backlight. It's not logic. It's not audio. It's not even video or video data. It's a fucking backlight. Like, I don't... A little picofarad capacitor can fucking suck it as far as I'm concerned on a board that looks like this. I'll put it on if I fucking feel like at the end when I'm done with everything else. Let's remove the ground wire from the power supply. No need for that to be here anymore. Okay, now what else we got to rip off of here? Okay, now for the fun part. We got the capacitors and the diode and... The LED driver. Yay. Okay, let's see which one's the backlight ball. Let's look for orientation here. Orientation does matter. No, we are not going to take our chances. We're taking enough chances even trying this silly-ass idea to begin with. Okay. Here, U9701. Where are you? Where are you? Okay. Feedback ball is in the corner. Now this here is tied to backlight, which means, remember, that means it's tied to ground. Let's see. If we're lucky, it'll be going to a via or a trace that I can just scratch out and still use the pre-existing pad. If not lucky, that we'll go straight into the board and I'll have to scratch the pad out. And I will curse and scream. Alright. Let's remove the LED driver and go from there. My tweezers are messed. I need to get some new ones. I use my tweezers for so many vile scraping tasks. It makes total sense why they look like that. Okay. So this is the ball right over here in the pad. And that, of course, fuck, is going straight into the fucking board. Lovely. Bullshit. And let's just confirm that that is indeed shorted to ground because it's in that same via. It's in that same whole section of the board that is shorted to ground. And 0 voltage drop to ground. It is shorted to ground. Okay. So that is the feedback portion from the LED driver. This is how it sees what it's doing. Now here's the funny thing. You know when I'm not trying to destroy a pad on the destroy pad? Watch how hard it's going to be to destroy the pad just because that's my actual intended fucking goal. So what I want to do right now is destroy that pad. And I guarantee just because it's late at night and I want to go home, and because I'm trying, that would actually be what fixes it, that destroying the pad is going to be difficult. Because I have destroyed one single pad without destroying anything around it with such fucking precision. What I wanted to do is keep it alive. But now that my goal is to actually destroy something, watch how hard it's going to be. Watch how much of a pain in the ass it's going to be. So that entire thing can just get the fuck out of here. Because that's ground, and I don't want ground anywhere near here. Go away. Fuck off. Eat it. Die. Shoo. I should take some Q-tips. I'm not happy with that little piece that's stuck there. Go away. Shoo. Fuck off. Whoops. Nothing. I didn't do anything that terrible. Alright, so let's do a little bit of testing here. So are you shorted to ground? No. You obviously are, but you are not. Is. But make us beep. Turn off this damn air filter that I'm not even using right now. I feel like I got more than enough room here. Yeah, I got enough room there. I feel like I'm safe. Now the thing is the magnet wire actually small enough for me to do what I want over here? But I've run wires under this and I've shown pictures of it. I've shown the actual process of me doing it. I mean, I know I can do it, but can I do it with magnet wire, and also can I do it with ground right next door? Yikes. This is a tough proposition. Let's see how thin this magnet shit is. Alright. I haven't really got the hang of using this stuff yet. Stripping it is a royal pain in the ass. Stripping this is a real pain in the ass. Oh my god. Can't even really tell when it's stripped or not stripped until you cut it, which is bullshit. Alright, so I'm going to kind of lay that wire in like that. Oh, this is BS. It's only stripped on one portion at the end, so it's hard to get it to not touch that probe point. This is bullshit. This is bullshit. This is a BS repair. This is for robots. Fucking machinery should be doing this, not people. Okay, get this fuckery over here. If I use tweezers that aren't shit, will you fucking sit? Who am I kidding? I can use tweezers that aren't garbage. So as silly as this sounds, this is where actually having a flux mess is actually helpful, because the mess from having a lot of flux is actually going to make it all goopy and sticky and nasty, and that gooey, sticky, nasty crap is going to be exactly what keeps my wire in place. Those few areas where being nasty is going to pay off. Let's make a little bit of a nasty flux mess. It's one of my favorite things to do, so yeah, it will come easy to me. Okay, let's make this area look really nasty with all the flux. Yeah, lots of flux everywhere, everywhere. Okay, that should do. That's pretty nasty, I'd say. Some nasty shit. Now we take this wire. I just ran it in a nice blob of solder with a bunch of flux for a while, so whatever part is silver is going to be the silver colored is the part where I can run my wire. And I expect it to work. Okay. Let's turn the board around. Every time I do this, I'm used to doing it with the board oriented this way, so I'm not sure why I'm changing that. See how it's kind of exposed on a little bit on one side, but not on the other? This is what's killing me. It's hard to tell when the side I can use starts and ends, and it's hard to properly cut shit that's this thin. This is way too big. I can tell already that this is going to end in real failure. I have a good feeling this is going to end in failure. Yeah, that's going to push that shit right up. But let's just try it for the hell of it. I do have, over 50 LP8550s here, so no big deal if it doesn't do what I want. The wire is not even on the board anymore. Yeah, this is not going to do it. I could actually... Why am I not doing what I usually do and have two tweezers? Yeah, so one set of tweezers will hold the wire and the other's down. The other one will move it into place where I want it to sit. Well, you're sitting down. I want you to be straight. Sit straight, mofo. Sit straight, mofo. Okay. Now the chip is going to sit over here. Now, if this doesn't work, plan B is going to be to use a single strand of battery wire, solder outside of it, and then solder the single strand of battery wire to the magnet wire, and then solder the magnet wire to backlight output. Is that not bullshit? Okay, ready for bullshit? I'm going to put the air a little lower than I usually have it. I have no good feelings about this. I'm afraid to inspect this. But it's time to inspect the work. So it's actually not bad. Those balls are soldered. And above all, what really kicks ass is that that one ball is actually pushed up off the board, so there's a very low chance of this of that shorting to the ground that I had left, because there was a little bit of ground via left in there. Oh, where's my wire? This is good. This is good shit. This is a miracle. What are you? No, nice try. Where were you? Come back here. Oh. I don't know where that went. Oh, here we go. Get the fuck out of here. Alright, so I'm satisfied that the chip is soldered well. Now what I need to see is, on the other end of this wire, is it shorting the ground? Right, what I'm doing is I'm going along and I'm recreating the entire feedback, I'm recreating the entire output of backlight circuit because that's shorted to ground inside the board. Since it's shorted into ground inside the board, I can't use the actual board's backlight circuit. Backlight pathways. I have to make my own by just soldering the components together point to point. So that's what I'm doing. I'm doing a point-to-point system here. Very 1951 Poltech. Very old school. All right. So let's strip the end of this wire here. That's already stripped. Okay, I'm going to touch you to the wire and you to ground. It doesn't beep. That means that I'm not shorted to ground at feedback. Oh, yeah. Okay. And we're getting somewhere. This is fucking cool. This is cool. This is really cool. Okay. Now the next thing I'm going to do is put an LCD connector on this. Obviously missing pins 38, 39, and 40. Obviously missing pins 38, 39, and 40. Like what? Right. Time for some evil music. I don't have the proper LCD connector for this board. I don't have the 2012 one. I only have the 2011 one. This is honestly an uncommon board to get in. I just don't have the LCD connector for it. But as you can imagine, this may surprise you, by the way, that the LCD cable that goes on this machine itself is not reusable. I know that may be surprising considering the perfect condition that the connector was in. So I'm going to be changing the LCD cable anyway, so it's not like it really matters if the LCD connector is not the right one, because I can just choose the LCD cable that I need. I just burned the plastic. Fuck me. Let's hope for happier endings on the second side. Okay. That's not going anywhere. Okay, now to solder the small pins. I'm being a lazy bum. Use the right fucking... Use the right tip. For fuck's sake. Yeah, it's 1 in the morning. Drag soldering. Fuck this. Why am I driving myself nuts at 1 in the morning? Okay. This is how we do this at 1 in the morning. We're gonna get that. Looking good. I don't want those pins for screen backlight touching the motherboard in any way. I just want to make sure that every one of them is not touching the board. Nice try, fiber. Okay. I don't want the green shit to go on the actual pins. I want the green shit to flow into the board. So, probably would have been smart to do that before I put the connector on. I haven't done a lot of smart things tonight. Get away from my pins. Shoo. Yeah, a lot of dumb things I've done so far this evening. That's definitely one of them. That was not one of the smarter things I could have done. Oh, that was not a smart thing to do. Let's try to see if I can just forget that that ever happened. All right. Let's see, are those pins? Ground. Infinite resistance to ground. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. So now we're going to take this wire over here, the magnet wire going from the feedback ball of the chip, and that's going to go over here to backlight output. Remember where backlight output got situated again? The leaning tower of backlight over here. I'm going to give my wire a little slack, and you may want to know why I'm doing that. If I cut it exactly to length right now and then I screw up while I'm stripping it, I'm fucked, because then I have to go back onto that feedback ball. And that's not something I ever want to do ever again. Ever. So... Now we tin my wire. Let's get some flux on my backlight feedback from under the chip, under the backlight boost circuit chip wire tinned. We get some solder going here. The power of 2 tweezers. See? Oh, look, it didn't grab it the way I wanted, but oh, fuck you. I can put you into place. How do you like it? I'm afraid of laying it down because I don't want it to touch the ground on the board. Hey, this is the part where I have to hold my hand steady. What a joke this is going to be. Usually I like laying things down on the board, but there's just too much ground for me to be comfortable. I know that that's enameled wire, but still, I don't really know what I can get away with it yet, and maybe I can lay it down. Let's just see. Yeah, fuck it. Let's trust the enamel. If the enamel is that damn hard to get off with wire cutters, I doubt it's going to be hard to get off with that. So let's see if it's now shorted to ground. It's not. Let's check my diode mode measurement here. Diode mode measurement is 0.519, which is totally acceptable for this type of circuit. Oh, it's hard to get an exact reading with all the... yeah, 0.521. 0.521. As I've said, 0.519 to 0.546 is totally acceptable for this. So now what I got to do is I got to make my final connection, which is going to be a piece of magnet wire from the backlight output and the backlight feedback and all that to the actual LCD connector. Which means another fucking piece of magnet wire. This stuff is going to be fun. This is the type of stuff that I could have never dreamed of doing with the wire that I had before. The power of 2 tweezers. That's one of the things I hope you learned from this video so far. That there is power in using 2 pairs of tweezers. Remember that first wire that I have going there? That first wire is from the LED driver, it's backlight tab to output. I mean LED, yeah, backlight drivers feedback tab to actual backlight output. And another one's going to be from backlight output to the LCD screen. Because what's the point of this if the LCD screen doesn't get the backlight? That magnet wire just disappeared. It's not on me. It's... motherfucker. Here we go. Is this the one I just tinned? Yep. It's getting late. Things are starting to disappear in front of me. It's getting very close to time to call a cab and go the fuck home. Okay. Let's get this done and I'll call it a day. Okay, it's in there. Now we run this to the other side of the board and solder it to the LCD connector and we'll be set. Oh, yeah, by the way, I should look and see what this chip does because whatever it does, I'm pretty sure that's not going to work. Let's see. What is that pile for? Because after all this crap, there's no way in hell I'm going back and doing that too. That is for... okay, it's youth. Ethernet. Oh, you are not getting Ethernet or your SD card reader. Oh, hell no. Here's the thing. So since this person technically said no, just send it back to me. I'm already not getting paid for this. I'm solely doing this as a let's see what is possible. Let's see if this is a fun project thing. But Ethernet in 2015, your board looks like this. You think I'm giving you back Ethernet? Fuck no, 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 no way. Oh, Ethernet can suck it. Is there a chance I could bring back Ethernet if I wanted to? Yes. Am I going to? Fuck no. Okay, back to our regularly scheduled programming. Bringing back LCD backlight. Too long. Just right. Remind me to replace the backlight fuse since I know I forgot to do that. Nice try shorting the ground over there. That's a mess. That needs a little bit of flux. Needs a little bit of flux and a very lot of help. A lot of help. That's some bullshit. All right. Let's see if I have my short to ground on backlight output. I don't. Place the fuse that I should have replaced in the first fucking place before I did anything else without hurting whatever I did under this chip. That's going to be fun. It's easy to get spoiled. I mean, I get impatient waiting 7 or 8 seconds for this large tip to heat up to 840 degrees. I remember when it used to take a minute and a half for my iron to heat up. When I had Radio Shack shit, I remember it taking 4 or 5 minutes for my iron to heat up. There we go. A little bit too blue with the white balance there. Clean off any of the wick residue. Oh, I left a fuzzball. Okay, you can finally troll. I left a fuzzball using a Q-tip. I wasn't paying attention. That'll come off when I toothbrush it at the ultrasonic. Okay, time for a fuse. You understand why I soldered one side and I didn't solder the other? It's so that I can just slip it in. See that? Now I can just do the same on the... Now, but the other side that's not soldered, I can add solder to it. If I have solder on both sides, I can't do it unless I have tweezers. I don't have tweezers because I hate hot tweezers. They drive me nuts. Like you put the component down, but the tweezers are hot. Therefore, when you pick the component, when you pick them up, the component will go with you. So you need two components anyway. You need to have tweezers in one hand and tweezers in the other, which totally negates the point to me of having a tool that is, like that. The whole point of hot tweezers is that you don't have to use two tools and use two hands. Just go down, 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 down. But if you have to have the other hand to hold the damn component while you're holding it with the hot tweezers, I just don't see the point of the hot tweezers. So here I'm doing this because, see this over here? That's right next door. I don't want to burn that wire away. I don't want to get that hot and have the wire decide, oh, there's pressure on me this way, so I just want to seesaw and lift that chip right off of the board. No, we're not redoing that. No hot air for this fuse. Get the fuck out of here. No hot air for that fuse. Regular solder, regular flux, regular iron. Okay. That's not the neatest fuse in the world, but I don't care. Because I don't want to risk anything bad happening here. Okay. So at this point, I've done everything but the two really, really tiny capacitors that, for all intents and purposes, I don't give a fuck about. Because they're just not really important. They're really not. Like, large capacitors are for storage and for smoothing out the large junk in the circuit. The really tiny ones are for getting really, really tiny, small amounts of ripple voltage. And again, in a circuit that's powering a fucking light bulb, I mean, do you really care about ripple in a light bulb? Like, I don't even mean big ripple, but I mean like really tiny amounts of ripple. I mean, it is just so negligible. So I don't give a shit. So bullshit. So let's see how this thing works. It's time to turn it on, Sharky.
Yes! Turn it on! Let's see your shit go on fire.
Do you have any faith in me, Sharky?
Why would I when everything you do blows up? You're just too much of a pussy to put it on camera.
Sharky, I film every board repair. Even the board repairs where customer devices blow up.
Sure you do.
Ow! Sharky!
Just turn it on.
Do something useful with that mouth of yours, Sharky. So what repair school should you go to learn how to fix these devices? E-Tech Training? Fix Mobile Tech? Jessa School? Lewis School? Mencor School? Best School? Or Sharky School? I'm pretty sure we all know who here knows more than everybody else, and who here is the best when it comes to component-level board repair of Apple products. Me. Ow! Sharky! That's it for this evening. We're going to fuck you up off camera, Sharky. All right, so at this point, you can see that I've put the board through the ultrasonic cleaner just to clean up all my flux and junk. After I did that, I put the board in the alcohol. After I put the board in the alcohol, I put it in the oven. But what I did is after I put it in the alcohol, I let it dry for a little bit. And then I put this conformal coating on the spots that I had messed with. And then I put it in the oven to cure at 150 degrees for about an hour. And then I put it to 250 degrees for another hour just to get rid of all the liquid. And you can see this is what the finished product looks like here. Just going over it so you can see what the work looks like. That's the LED driver. So remember, I did do some funny stuff here. Figure it would be worth showing you some of the funny stuff. So we went under the LED driver with that magnet wire, which you can't see because I covered it in green shit. That conformal coating pen from Allspec. This really doesn't react well, that auto color correcting, when you're moving with the thing that you're working on. Oh, come on. Come on. Yeah, so that's where I drilled a hole. Oh, that's still way too purple. Oh well. Yeah, you can see I covered that area entirely because I don't want to ever see that shit again. Yeah, you could see this is where I drilled a hole right through the board. I didn't drill, I used the Dremel with a really small bit. Okay, so this thing is on crack and really thinks I want that much red in my picture. What the fuck, auto color correction? Come on. Cut the shit. Alright. Alrighty. Yeah, that actually pokes all the way through to the other side. You can... I'm not going to do it now, obviously, because I don't want to disturb any of the work that I've done, but that hole is not supposed to be there and can go through all the way to the other side. Most of that hole was actually done by the Dremel. Oh, by the way, this is the, I believe, U3400, 3900, 3100. This is for Ethernet and also for the SD card slot. This board does not have Ethernet or an SD card slot, and it never will again. I mean, this is, by the way, this is not me. This is not me. This was whoever decided to spill water on it or fuck it up or what in the first place. This is not my fault. And again, when you see a board that looks like this, you don't start thinking about running jumpers. Think about whatever that is. They don't have it anymore. If it's Thunderbolt, if it's Ethernet, whatever it is, they lost it when they did whatever they did to the computer to make that happen. So this here is a screw that I'm most likely going to be leaving out when I reassemble it. That's my leaning tower of backlight here with my capacitors. Should green it a little bit more on that side. I left some exposed. Really high, tall capacitor there. Oh, this stuff just smells like joy. This stuff just smells like joy and sunshine. Disgusting. But this stuff does its job. Yes, make sure my leaning tower of backlight stays up until the end of time. That's my diode. So that's the inductor, or called the coil. Then it goes to the boost diode. The boost diode has been rerouted because remember, again, that pad over there is part of the backlight circuit, which is permanently shorted to ground now. That goes to my output capacitors. The output capacitors go to the output on the LCD connector over here. And right under there, where there's all that green shit, again, there is a hole under there, which I've proudly routed around. And remember, it's not going to boost without feedback, so that's what this other wire coming up here is. So at the backlight output caps, once all that's done, it reports back to the LP8550. Remember, I actually scratched the pad under the board off because that pad is, remember, that's going to my backlight output, and my backlight output is completely shorted to ground. So we wanted to get around that altogether, and I got around it. And I recreated it using the wires, and that's the wire that goes to the under the chip where backlight is. So ultimately, this was a pretty fun project. And this is not something I'm actually getting paid for, believe it or not. So the funny thing here is this person gave it to somebody that somebody was told, you should really mail this to Lewis to do this. And that person decided to send it to Jess anyway, which added a few days of processing time because you're sending it to the person who's not going to be fixing it. It gets sent to me, and it's not a fix now because it took too long, because I took 3 days to fix it instead of 1 day. And again, one of the things you need to realize, when I get a board that looks like this, it is so far on the bottom of the fucking pile, you have no idea. I mean, again, when my receptionist is off for the week on vacation, and I get a board in it that has that, again, like, just so we're on the same page here, because I know what you're thinking. You guys are thinking I'm a lazy prick, blah, blah, blah. When you get a board that looks like this, this is not something that you attend to instantly. This is something that, and you wait until you've got some time available, and then you tend to this. But this is not something that I'm going to be messing with immediately. And yeah, I think I got the time estimate pretty good. This thing got fixed about 2 or 3 days after it arrived here. And again, I can tell you from experience, there are a lot of $75 backlight guys that would have just seen this and said, fuck this, and thrown it in the garbage and been done. But I managed to get it done. So this is something where they actually decided not to fix it. Since I cannot mail this thing out until Monday anyway, I figured I would have fun with it. It's now Sunday night when I'm showing you this. I did the repair on Saturday. So this is actually going to get sent back as a fix, and I don't get paid for it. But it was fun. It was something I wanted to have fun with this new wire, and I wanted to see if this was solvable. Because again, when I see a board that has holes in it and just crap like that, I usually just say screw this, because again, it has a hole in it. It burns. It looks like it's been completely burned to shit. But what made this fun was just seeing if that thing was possible. And clearly it is, because you saw backlight and it worked, and I'm pretty damn sure this is always going to work. So that's about it for today.